I'll start off just injury update-wise. Latu had a shoulder, Juju Brent's growing, and then Gonzalez had a concussion. And then just about the game, obviously finishing the right way. That's what we wanted to do, getting a victory. Our guys were pros about it all week, going about their business, and to get a victory at the end of the year was huge. Obviously not where we want to be. Obviously we want to be in the playoffs. That part is disappointing, but I am proud of the way the guys fought this last game.
What do you think of the way JT ran today?
Ran hard, man. He's been running hard all year. Obviously popped some big runs for us there, especially there in that overtime, deal to get us down in there, to get the field goal. Thought he did a hell of a job.
And what do you say for Alec Pierce the season he had?
I mean, really improved. I'll tell you what, the plays he made down the field, obviously a big one there, 3rd and 10 in the overtime, just a little sideline play to him, going up and getting it. Made some big times and clutch moments for us this year. So, awesome.
If you add the pass interference penalties to his yardage total, he's probably at about 1,000 yards. I mean, how impactful were those, too?
Yeah, those were huge. Obviously, we had a couple of those this year, which led to big plays. So, yeah, it was big time.
What was the message to the guys in there? It seemed like you guys had some drawn-out applause with him.
Yeah, Mr. Irsay was in there. Fuzzy's been here for so long in the video department, and Dave Hammer and the medical staff. Obviously, just giving those guys some props and acknowledging them for everything they've done for this organization. Those two guys obviously have been with this organization forever, and he was giving them props in there for everything they do for this organization.
Is there any debate to playing Juju today, given the injury and how long he's missed?
No, there wasn't. Obviously, we ramped him up. It was a while until we activate him, and he was ready to go today. And obviously, injuries happen. That's the unfortunate thing about the game.
Shane, what are your expectations going forward? I mean, you expect to be back next year? You said you've talked to Jimmy.
Yeah, we'll have those ongoing conversations. Obviously, I love being the head football coach here. Love everything about it. Love this team. Obviously, we'll have an evaluation process, early on this week. But I'm excited to be here.
Ryan Kelly, this could potentially be his last game as a Colt. How much of an impact has he made over this organization that you've seen in your short time here?
Phenomenal impact. I mean, first and foremost, a phenomenal person. First and foremost, his family, his wife, his kids, just phenomenal. And then obviously being a team captain the last 2 years, what he brings to this football team, the leadership, the way he plays the game, obviously a Pro Bowl player for us. I can't say enough good things about Ryan.
Likewise about Zaire, it's most likely he'll be the tackle leader after the 4:30 games, and then he ends the game with that huge sack. Looking at his season as a whole, what impressed you the most with Zaire?
I think he plays the game relentlessly. He's always ready to go. He's got a mindset about him that he doesn't want to be denied, and that's what I love about him, the way he goes about his business every single day to work.
Shane, the coach, the GM, the defense coordinator, the quarterback, is this franchise in the right hands?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, obviously it didn't go the way we wanted to go, Greg. It was one of those years, a down year for us. But again, I'm going to work relentlessly along with everyone to get this thing going in the right direction so we can put a championship culture and winning product on the field next year.
What would you kind of recall about this season? And when you try to put it in perspective?
It's a good question. I think more than anything, there's a lot of adversity, a lot of ups and downs. Some of the games we lost, the way we lost them, going back and looking at those and reflecting on those moments to get those things corrected and get those things fixed, obviously, moving forward.
And do you expect staff change around you, coaching staff?
Again, we just finished the game. Obviously, that's going to be part of the evaluation process moving forward.
So what, I guess, as far as you look at where you say this is what we did well and this is what we need to improve on to move in the right direction?
Yeah, it's early to say what it is. Obviously, that's going to be part of the reflection process. But, off the top of my head, just finishing, finishing games in certain situations is going to be big for us, moving forward.
You obviously want to reflect on this season, but how quickly do you imagine you'll get to work starting on 2025?
Oh, very, very quickly. Obviously, that starts, tomorrow.
To get that Jacksonville monkey off your back, though, to end the season.
Yeah, it's big, obviously, to finish with a win, with a win against a division opponent. I got a lot of respect for Doug and what he's done in this league, man. Just a phenomenal coach. Obviously, they got a good team over there, so a lot of respect for them as well.
What do you think of the atmosphere in there today?
Atmosphere is good. I mean, our fans show up like crazy, like they always do. I know it's snowing like crazy out there today, but it was good.
Joe, what do you just take away from the effort this week of the guys? Shane talked about being professional and kind of sticking with it, even though the game didn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I don't know, maybe you try to talk yourself into thinking these games don't mean a lot to ease your mind a little bit, but it's still an NFL game, and it's still our profession. There's always something on the line. There's always a lot on the line, to be honest with you. So they all mean a lot. I know it didn't mean anything for the Colts and what we're doing this year, but a victory in this league, it goes a long way no matter what.
This team hadn't beaten Jacksonville in 2 years. I think they lost 5 of the last 6. So how nice is it to kind of get that rivalry on the right side heading into the new season?
Yeah, I remember the first time we played them hearing a lot about that, especially down there, not playing very well. So we wanted to kind of get that rolling in the right direction, and we were close, but just not quite there. And then this game was another one. Usually when things like that happen, it's tough to get that first one, and today was no exception. It was that was the case. So, listen, it's the last thing I think most people want to see, and when you're in the last game of a season, is all of a sudden we're going to overtime, and that was another just impressive mindset for guys to just kind of put everything out of their mind, go out there, be in the moment, concentrate on the task at hand, and go down and have a good drive.
You've accomplished a lot in this league, Super Bowl MVP, won a trophy. But what did the last 2 weeks maybe tell you about how much you still love playing the game, how much you love the process and getting out there on Sundays?
Yeah, it's never easy. It's never any. I've talked about it a little bit, but it's not the easiest position and not as easy as you would think to be a backup, because you do kind of forget how awesome it is to be out on the field in this league. And you have to kind of find different ways to keep yourself as confident as you need to be in case you need to go out there. But every time that I go out there and take that field, I'm instantly reminded. And I wish I was in a position to be, instantly reminded week in and week out. But yeah, the last 2 weeks, like I said, instant reminder of how special it is to play in this league and how much I enjoy doing it.
From your experience in the league, a team that's going to finish 1 or 2 games out of the playoffs, how close are teams like this usually to taking that next step?
There's a ton of plays you could probably look at and say, you could probably pick 5 plays and say that's how close we are. But then you could also probably do the same thing in the other direction and say, but yeah, we could have, there's always that back and forth. There's a reason that, you kind of finish around this area. I think when you ultimately just become better, then those things start to go in your favor, because if you looked at it right now, there's just probably a lot of 50-50 things. For the one that we could have had, there's another one that we couldn't have had. So we just need to change that balance a little bit, and the only way to really do that is to get a little bit better. I think it's a lot like a lot of stats and all those things that are brought up today. I think you can kind of manipulate it into saying, oh, we were so close, or oh, we weren't, however you want to put it, we weren't that far away. But it's being able to look at the different things and the ins and outs of those and really dissect what the issue was. That's the thing with analytics these days. I think, especially when you're 8-9. When you're 8-9, there's probably a ton of spots where you could look and convince yourself that we were almost there. I don't necessarily think that's the right mindset. I don't think we should be trying to trick ourselves into thinking that we're almost there. I think we should acknowledge, yeah, we are almost there, but we're not there. And I think when you acknowledge that, you free yourself up to get better and take that next step.
Talking about stats, so Alec Pierce, he had 37 catches. He averaged 22.3 yards per reception this year. No one's hit those marks since Deshaun Jackson in 2010. You've seen a lot of deep threats. Thrown to a lot of those guys. What about Alec made him so successful this year?
Listen, I think he had a great mindset. I've been really impressed by him. It's a shame that he's only had 37 receptions. That's what I would say, because I think he's obviously you can see what he can do, but he's also better than 37 receptions. He can do other things and can play a bigger role. So I think that's one of the things that we could probably look at, and say, why does a guy like that only have 37 receptions? It's impressive, what he's done. He definitely changes the game for this team and makes a really positive impact. But like I said, I think he's capable of, maybe bringing those yards per catch down a little bit and having a bunch more of them. So
Still, having said that, like, how empowering is it as a quarterback if you see there's not safety help over the top and you got press coverage, just, hey, we can throw it to him?
No, it opens things up for sure. I remember back when we were rolling in Baltimore and we had Torrey Smith on one side, and in the couple years we had Jacoby Jones as well. But just getting Torrey, when teams wanted to come up and press us, you knew. It wasn't 50-50. Like, you knew, like, here we go. So that really helps a lot because then you can just do all kinds of other stuff as well.
On a similar vein, you've played with so many centers in this league. What stands out to you about Ryan Kelly?
Oh, listen, man, Ryan's done it for a long time. You can tell this place means a lot to him. And he's just tough. He's somebody that wants to be out there week in and week out, grinding through it and being with his teammates and going out there and being in the trenches with everybody. And I think that's what you have to respect about an offensive lineman is a guy that wants to be out there going through the tough times and putting the team on their back, and that's what he's done.
Joe, did you have any thoughts that this might have been your last game today?
I did not. No, I have no thoughts about being emotional about being the last game. Listen, I mean, to a certain extent, some of those things are out of your control. This doesn't feel like it's the end. I don't want it to be. But like I said, sometimes those things are out of your control. And I'm not one to, sit and whine about things and be overly emotional about things anyway. Listen, this game has been unbelievable to me. I've been playing it since I've been 12 or 13 years old, and I'll be 40 in a couple weeks. And I want to play. I want to be one of those 40-year-olds that has played in the NFL. And I want to play meaningful football games. I think I can help some people out, and hopefully I get the chance to do that.
What advice, if any, would you give to Anthony Richardson about becoming the franchise quarterback as he goes into this offseason?
Listen, the biggest thing, I think when you get into this world, there's times when things aren't going perfectly where it can become a profession. It is our profession. It's a job. And there's times where it can feel like a job. I think what I would say is find ways to remind yourself or find little things to look at and do that remind you that this isn't a job. This is so much more than that. It's such a special thing that we get to do. And I think the more you remind yourself of that and remind yourself why you started playing this game in the first place, then the better mindset you'll have to just kind of accomplish what you want to have. And listen, you're going to hit little speed bumps along the way where it goes back to feeling like a job. Like, man, I got to go to work today. All right, let me pick myself up and go do it. But there is little ways to remind yourself of how special it is and how great of an opportunity we have.